most important thing that I feel in this field is you have to make sacrifices
Hmm.
and you have to make decisions. Thinking about everything, like pros and cons of both the things, like why should I go and why should I not? It made me realize what I love.
Welcome back to the Corner Talks podcast. I have my good friend here.
How's it going, man? Happy to be back.
No, it shouldn't be about anything. Like, this is one life.
Yep, one life? Like, fucking do it!
My guy.
Like, she just got it. She totally understood it.
20 years old when I started just watching a lot of movies.
And it tells a story. I want to tell a story.
Talented filmmaker, Kaustubh Grover. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you.
What's going on? So Kaustubh, better known as KG, my guy. You were the one that, one of many, I should say, helped me out on the Demon short film project we shot back in July, which right now we're going through a post-production. But I want to say thank you again, man, for your relentless work ethic and talent contributing to the project. You really uplifted our spirits, just being present on set that day, and you brought a lot of knowledge and competent skill sets as a production assistant on set that I was truly impressed by. So thank you
Anyway,
once
man,
again.
thank you for the opportunity. Like that's what we do, right? So any day.
Of course. KG, the reason why I love you so much is because I always tell your buddy Sam, you're the one guy on set when I gave you the script because you didn't read it. I didn't realize you were the one guy that didn't read it. You remember that?
Yeah, that was my first time I met you, and I had no idea. Like just one day before that, Sam asked me, like we were like in the school, and Sam was like, "Hey, I'm doing this project tomorrow, and I need someone to help me out." And I was like, "I'm free, I'll come." And that's it. Like I didn't have the script and anything, and in the morning I was like, "Oh, everyone is talking about the script. What is the script? I have no idea."
And even said, he's like, "Yo, can I bring a friend?" I'm like, "Yeah, the more hands, the better."
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the reason why what was memorable about our interaction is I gave you the script, but because I was so preoccupied that day, I kind of forgot about you. Like in the sense of like, obviously I knew you were there, but I didn't know like where your whereabouts were.
Yeah.
You popped up, you slammed the script in front of my face. You're like, "Well done, let's kill it." And I was like, "Oh, that's right, you read it." I was like so proud of myself. I'm like, "Okay, thanks, buddy." But yeah, man, nevertheless, you were just an exceptional talent to have on set because you're a young kid, like you're in the Toronto Film School, which we'll get into that. But you were just so like dedicated, you know what I mean? Dedicated to this project, seeing it come to life. And you don't really see that often with, kids your age, you know what I mean? A lot of them like might be on their phone, but you were never once on your phone. I was always saying, "Can someone fix that light?" You ran to it. So yeah, you're a director's vision. That's what I gotta say.
Like I was super excited for that, and that's why I'm here, right? So
of course.
Any day,
Yeah.
any projects. Yeah.
Well, more to come, right? Like that's why we prove ourselves on set, because we always want to be remembered for future projects.
Exactly.
So I just can't wait for that, and I can't wait for you to see the end product.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Yes, yeah. Oh, you're gonna love it, bro. You're gonna love it. So talking about like the fact that you've helped us on set, and you've contributed yourself to the development of this last project I directed called Demon. I want to know from you, how did you develop your passion for filmmaking, and why did you decide to pursue such an elusive profession as a career?
Yeah, so my filmmaking journey started, I would say, last year only, right?
Okay.
So I graduated from a business school, right, back in India, and it was a 3-year course, bachelor's in business administration.
Okay.
While doing that, I was enrolled in theater, like the theater society of my college. So I did theater for like 3 to 4 years, right? I started with theater in acting, and from there we started doing productions like stage plays, all the back end things like set designing, directing plays, and stuff like that.
So your first hand at film was theater production, or were you an actor?
So I started off as an actor.
Okay.
Like we used to do street plays, stage
Right.
plays. Like we have done many, like Shakespeare's Caligula and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we have done, or not Shakespeare's, but yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, like we have done many stage plays, street plays, and we started with acting and everything. And then I went to the production side of that, right? And that
Nice.
excited me a lot, like the behind the camera work, behind the stage work.
Right.
Then I started my own research. Then, like back in India with my friend, we just started shooting videos with anything. Like we just had a phone. I recently bought a gimbal, like I was really excited to use the gimbal, and we just bought it and we
Oh
started
yeah.
rolling. Like, I still have it.
The
I like,
gimbal, right? Yeah, I
yeah,
remember my
like
first experience with it.
mobile
Yeah.
gimbal, and it's
Oh,
like,
there you go, buddy.
yeah, I carry it everywhere. And
100%, buddy. That's a
yeah,
true filmmaker right there, ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen.
And we just started rolling, doing stuff. Like if we go somewhere, like we are at a place and we are like, oh, this would look like a great shot. We just
Yeah.
shoot, and then we just go back and see if we could do anything. We started doing like that, and then I was like, I got more interested towards it, and then like the first break I would say was there was a web series like Lionsgate Play
Mhm.
was shooting a web series in India, right? And it's
Okay.
called Jugadistan. So we were called as a background artist, like theater cast. Like we were in theater and they needed a theater scene in their web series.
Right.
So we were called for like about 10 days. And on the first day I went there, I did all the background actors thing, like whatever they were saying. But then on this, like that was my first time on a proper set, right?
Got
So
it.
I observed everyone, like what's DOP doing, what's the actor is doing, ADs and stuff like that. And that really excited me. Like, wow, that's exciting work. That's what I want to do. So after all that, like after the first day, all the other 9 days, 9 or 10 days, I was just behind the camera, observing them. Like I was behind the scenes, observing them, what they are doing, how things work on set, right? And that
Studying
really,
them.
exactly, studying them and just looking how things work. That really excited me. Like, I was like, wow, this is really exciting work, and this is
Right.
where I want to be. So I would say that would be my first break kind of thing.
Okay.
After that, I just started my own research. I shot then after I went to my brother's place and like I did my own research. I shot my first movie and then I uploaded it on like it was a short documentary and I uploaded
Okay.
it on YouTube and submitted on festivals and stuff like that. It got selected and got a
Nice.
few prizes at 1 or 2 festivals. So it was really good. It was a
Yeah.
big thing for me. Like right now I look at it, like on YouTube, it got like around 1.1K views. I was like, oh wow. Like it's
That's
nothing, but
amazing.
for me
That
it's like
recogni-
wow.
That
I like
recognition helps, right? As a
exactly,
filmmaker. Yeah.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
was really happy with it. Then the real stage came when now what to do?
Yeah.
Film school or no film school? Like, do you
Yeah.
want to go ahead and pursue this as a career,
Yeah.
or is it just a hobby or a side hobby?
Got it.
And then that was like that time was a tough time to decide. And here I am then.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, man, like you
Yeah.
mentioned a lot of great points, and I'm happy that you were not bashful about the whole idea of receiving recognition because we're storytellers, right? It's like telling a joke. You want people to laugh, be receptive of it. The more, the merrier, right? And
Exactly.
I've experienced that too, like getting recently into my first kind of big festival, the Toronto
Oh
Shorts
yeah, I saw
International.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
Congratulations,
sir.
man.
Yeah, thank you, Lady of the
Congratulations.
Night. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
we it kind of matches exactly to your story, like describing your experience is that it not only got into a festival, but it got like almost 10,000 views on YouTube organically. So we were really proud of that. But what I'm saying is I never had that experience before. My short films usually get a couple hundred views and then the odd online festival that I never hear about. But it's indicators of progress as a filmmaker, right? And that's something that you're probably looking at as well. But I'm happy you had those experiences because that's what pushed you to become pursue a filmmaking career.
Exactly.
And I know it's a very elusive career, something that I was mentioning, and the reason why I mentioned it is because we have family and friends, loved ones. You always beg the question, like, were they supportive? Not that they need to be, but it kind of helps. So I want to know from you, like, were your family and friends supportive of your decision as an artist, or do you
Yes.
still battle with that discouragement?
No, not
No?
that much.
Okay,
Like,
good.
they were supportive. Like talking about my friends, most of my friends, we are from the creative background, like as I mentioned in theater.
Okay.
And so I
So
used
there's
to
a
work with them.
familiarity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I used to work with them. We used to work together, so they know. So
Got
they
it.
used to support me whenever we
Right.
do something, we create something, we share it with each other. They provide feedback, so they support me. Talking about my family as well, like when I told my mom about this, like I think I want to do this, so she was like, "Go to film school if you want."
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Oh, she actually like told you
yeah,
to go for it. Yeah, that's
she really
awesome.
I like the idea of it, and she was like, if you want to do it, just go for it. Then I talked to my dad about it, and my dad was also like, yeah, sure, go. So like they were supportive about it. So
Well, that's
that was
interesting.
that was a blessing, I would say. Like that really helps. Like
Yeah,
if
well, your own mom like even
yeah,
pushed you. Yeah, for sure, man, because it gives you that confidence. Not to say my parents didn't support me, but I come from an immigrant family. Like parents are both Italian, born born there, and they have those values, right? That mindset: get a job, work, make money, get a pension. And that's why I was surprised with you, because are you Indian, KG?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like that was the thing with me as well. Like
Yeah, because we're very similar that way. Like I'm surprised like they were like that supportive. Yeah.
they were supportive, but at the end, that point kept pinching. Like, okay, but is this field a proper, like a strong field? Like,
Right.
is there a proper
It's
source
a
of
worthwhile
income?
for you.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
is like do a job. Like, so as I mentioned, I completed my graduation from a business school, right? So I had a job back in India. Like I was working, and while I was deciding all this, so I decided to leave my job and just start with film school, right? So
Right.
again, that was one thing that kept pinching, right? Do you want to leave a job, like a stable job, and go for it, or what? So
Got it.
those points kept pointing out. Sometimes like someone is saying this, oh, you have a job and this field is not that. And obviously, like talking to tons of people about it, some would say, oh yeah, go for it, and some would be like, it's not stable and stuff like that, right? So it has
I
always
understand.
been like that. But yeah, like being supportive, but yeah, like they were like, do what you want to do.
Awesome, man. Well,
Yeah.
Here we are today, right? I wouldn't have had my boy
Exactly.
KG on set.
Yes,
We didn't
sir.
have mama. We didn't have the mom support you. But
Yes, sir.
no, that brings joy to me, because you're a good kid. You could tell like you're very genuine, and you're not someone to like pursue the arts or like pursue this kind of field to kind of like cop out or get out of school or work or whatever. It's because of passion, right? And I'm so happy that your family and your friends recognize that. I want to know from you though, KG, like what did you learn from yourself when you bravely chose to follow this unconventional path as an artist? Like what kind of lesson did you kind of learn about who you are as a person?
So the most important thing that I feel in this field is you have to make sacrifices
Hmm.
and you have to make decisions, right? Like you have to be on one side. So I spent a lot of time like back in India thinking about this thing, whether I should go or not. And like thinking about everything, like pros and cons of both the things, like why should I go and why should I not? It made me realize what I love, right? Like,
Right.
I used to think like, should I pursue this field as a career or a hobby? And then pros and cons. So I was like, okay, these are the pros and cons of pursuing this as a career, and these are for hobby. And I didn't want it just right. I didn't want it this just for hobby, right? Like if it would have been hobby, I would have been like not doing it, to be honest, right? So it made me strong and it made me more clear about myself. Okay, now I know I want to do this. I made a decision that made me strong, I would say.
Yep.
It was a tough decision, to be honest, but yeah, like I had to make a decision. So I was like, let's go for it, and that definitely made me more tough and strong.
That's awesome, man. Well, yeah, you basically realize in yourself that you have the conviction, you have that trust that you can do great things. And even if it's not to your liking, like the same path, a lot of people can't say for themselves that they took the risk, right? Like they
Exactly.
went for something that was close to their heart. A lot of people just settle. And that's why I kind of tell a lot of people as well, like, whenever I'm in my darkest moments, is the only reason, one of the big reasons why I'm pursuing this passion, other than the fact that I want to, follow my heart and pursue my dreams, is I want to know within myself that I had the bravery to do it. Like I at least said, I went for it. I tried. There's so many people we know, man. Like you hear it all the time. Like, oh, I wish I was doing what you're doing, or I'm an actor, or like I want to be an actor. And it's like, yeah, but you're not doing it. I get it. Like you have a safe job, bro. You're making more money than me. I get it. But in 10, 20 years, like, is that going to mean anything to you? Because you see some people, how it impacts their life, man. It's really tough. But I'm happy that you had the conviction in your heart. You set out to what you wanted to do, and you're here now making progress. That's the most important thing for sure. So yeah, I want to get back into like, the fact that you were mentioning, or I brought it up, that you were enrolled at the Toronto Film School. Many filmmakers often wonder if film school is an appropriate avenue that will assist or even enhance their abilities, opportunities, and success to telling impactful stories. And I've noticed from your Instagram page that you're currently enrolled at the Toronto Film School, and it piqued my curiosity as to your opinions about the concept of the institution, like what it serves you. So I want to know from you, like, why did you enroll in the Toronto Film School, and how has it benefited your career as a filmmaker?
Sure. So that's like that is a big question in this field, whether
Of course.
film school
Yeah.
or not, right?
That's
It
why I
is a
asked.
bit- yeah, and like same. I was going through that whether film school or not, and so film school I would say definitely helps.
Okay.
All right, the learnings you can learn everything on YouTube. I would say just
Yeah,
tons
that's true.
of videos, right?
That's how I learn.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I started from there only. I started with YouTube.
Yeah.
The only thing is the exposure, the connections,
Yeah.
and hands-on experience.
And the opportunity to make a
And
film too, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
obviously, like
Yeah.
you connect the connections you make with people, the professors, you meet people.
Yeah.
Basically, tons of like 15, 20 like-minded people in one classroom, right?
Right.
You meet tons of people, you create content faster, right?
Yeah.
These three things are, I'm like, these three things are the place where film school helps a lot, right? It has
For sure.
helped me a lot. Connections, I made tons of good connections. I've worked with people through film school.
Yeah.
The hands-on experience, the equipments and stuff like which we can get at school, which I don't have at home, right?
Right.
The studios, the facilities. So that way, film school helps a lot, right? So I would say it helped me with all those things. The hands-on experience, like when I started on YouTube, I didn't have a camera or a tripod or a C stand at home, right? Or a light at home. So I was just
Right.
learning. I was just absorbing things. But when I came here, I was absorbing things while doing it. So now I have a more clear picture in my mind on what to do rather than from YouTube. That's
Right.
one thing that I have observed. Like, talking about myself, due to COVID, I had to do my first term online because I didn't get the visa on time.
So you're saying YouTube served more of a purpose for you. Not more of a purpose, but like it really was another outlet, like an alternative, I mean, to film school
Yeah,
when
yeah,
film school wasn't available.
exactly. Like there's tons of information on YouTube.
Got
As
it.
like for Toronto Film School as well, I didn't get my visa on time due to COVID, so I had to do my first term of Toronto Film School online from
Oh,
India.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I completed my first term online. Like, so they designed the program like that only, like all the theory and all the theory subjects and all the things that they could teach online. They transferred it to first term. So I took my
Wow.
classes online, and at that time I really liked that. Like, okay, it's a nice, like I am learning things. As soon as I came here, my first class, second semester, it was 100 times better than the whole online term.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
100 times better. Like just
Really?
the first class, just the first class.
Wow.
Like in the first class, we were like given with C stands. We were given with sandbags, cameras, lightings.
Yeah.
Go, hang that light over there. Hang this light over there.
Right.
Hang this light from there. Get the camera over. Set up the tripod.
Right.
So that's what film school helps, I would say. And
That's awesome.
Yeah. And talking about Toronto Film School, so exactly like as everyone does, I went online best film schools around the world. First, I started film schools in India.
Yeah.
Best film schools around the world. I made a document. I made a spreadsheet. Everything, fees, facilities, this, that,
Right.
this,
Right. Right.
everything. Then I like picked the best ones. Then I did more research when they went on their website. The best part I would say is connecting people on LinkedIn. I just went on LinkedIn, Toronto Film School. I messaged everyone. Toronto Film School, Vancouver Film School, this film school, that film school. I got replies from there. And then from their experiences, I got to know, okay, I should go for this or this. Like I would say my two options were Vancouver Film School and Toronto Film School. All right.
Wow.
But the thing with Vancouver Film School was they had a waiting of 1.5 years.
Wow.
And the course is for 1.5 years.
What do you mean 1.5 year for what? Like to apply?
For admission, yeah, for the admission.
Or
Because
like enrollment or like
yeah,
the process of getting back?
enrollment,
Oh, okay.
enrollment, yeah.
And one and a
Because
half
of-
year wasn't enough time for you?
No, so I was like, I had to wait 1.5 years to get enrolled.
Oh, 1.5. So that's why I was saying, yeah. So the
okay,
1.5 years
yeah,
to
yeah.
admission.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
It's
okay.
for
So I
admission, for
understand.
admission.
Yeah,
was
to
like-
accept you. Okay.
To
got
accept, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, the course is for 1.5 years, and
Right.
then I wait for 1.5 years and then go again for 1.5 years was like too much time.
Mhm.
So then my second option was Toronto Film School, and I was like, I applied for it and I got accepted, and I was like, let's start with it.
That's amazing, man. Well, like I'm glad that you had this awareness of like your time is money, and you couldn't
Exactly.
waste time, right? Like you needed to get this career moving.
exactly.
But
Because I knew,
yeah.
sorry, yeah, I knew
Yeah,
if
for
I would
sure.
have waited, if I would have waited for that 1.5 year, things might have changed. Like,
Yeah.
never know. What if I had that found something else or something happened and I'm not able to do that and whatever. So I was like, I don't want to wait and risk it. I'll just go for it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's an interesting concept as creatives, right? We're always told, you got to be patient, you got to like wait your turn kind of thing.
yeah,
And but sometimes like in this
yeah,
moment, evidently, you have to know when to act on it, and when to decide what's best for you. And I'm
exactly,
happy that you did it, because yeah, a year and a half, like why wait that? Like you said, in that time you could make another film, you can make multiple films,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
And you could have met what you did, a lot more connection. So yeah, you gotta know where to invest, expel your time and energy. So yeah, I'm really happy that you did that. So that's how you ended up, I guess, at the Toronto Film School.
Yeah,
And from your experience, because I know you were explaining, you were shedding light on how YouTube, the tutorials and things like that, made you better prepared. So when you're with filmmakers like myself, or when you're amongst your peers or your classmates at the Toronto Film School, you are much more aware of what is involved in making a film. But I want to know, like, from your experience thus far, and no really like commentary on Toronto Film School by this answer. But do you feel film school is still necessary to become a successful filmmaker, or
okay.
no? Yeah.
No, like no, there are tons of successful filmmakers out there without film school, right?
Right, of course.
Filmmaking is so basically it's just the matter of time you want to give.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
If you're not in film school, it might take 10 years. If you're in film school, it might cut down that to 5 years. That's it, I guess. That's what
That's
I
true. You're saying it might actually accelerate your chances of becoming a filmmaker. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
exactly. Like the thing is right here, right? Like it's
Yeah,
on you.
it always
You're
comes from the
creative.
mind. Yeah, it always
Exactly.
comes
You're
from
creative.
like, yeah,
Exactly.
your
Your
willingness to
creative
do
mind
it.
and not the school. The
Yeah,
school definitely helps to accelerate it, to boost it. But it's not the only thing that if you're in film school, you can be a successful filmmaker for sure. Like I
no,
had no plans. I had no plans for film school to be
yeah,
honest.
you kind of
Like,
ended up there. Yeah,
I just started shooting stuff and this and that, like short videos, nothing big, like with my mobile, right? But then as gradually time went, I was like, okay, I want to try this. I just wanted to try it. That's why I'm here.
that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I bring it up is like I've often had that dilemma of, oh, should I have gone to film school?
Yeah.
Turned 28 now, right? And obviously you've seen the projects that I've had my
Yes.
hand at, and how I conduct myself on set, because you have to also be aware of what you want to do, right? Like for me, I
Exactly.
don't want to be a sound mixer, I don't want to be a director of photography, I want to be a director, right? And I'm aware that as Tarantino says, there are people that know how to make a film, there's people that know how to tell a story. So I pride myself on the person that knows how to tell a story. As giving your reaction with the film of Demon, it's like, I didn't go to film school, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
But it comes, like you said, from here, and it also comes from your heart, like how much you really want it. But I love what you said, where it does cut down the time, and I strongly believe that. People might argue like, no, like film school is completely unnecessary, like it just gives you an opportunity to make a film. But the connections you make, you know what I mean, the network you establish, like KG struggled, like all those people you've met on set, years it took me, bro, like 5-6 years probably. I would have been like, how old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Yeah, I'm not kidding, bro. If I went to film school, I probably by 25 would have been at the level I am now. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even like sooner.
That's what
But it delayed because, like I said, I didn't go to film school, so everything I had to make by myself. I had to go to networking events. I had to grind it out, as they say, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like it just accelerates your journey, I would say. Like talking about Demon as well. Before joining the film school, I knew what C stands are, right?
Yeah.
But I had never used them.
The terminologies, the lingo.
I had never used them, so I didn't know how to put it up. Demon, on the sets of Demon, that was my first time using a C stand. All right, I have watched tons of videos on it. I was still figuring out how to do it. And on the set, like Sam was there, he told me to do this, do that, and done. Boom, like within minutes.
Right.
That's why I'm saying, like, I spent so much time on videos. I knew the terminology, I knew what it is for, but the practical usage, it was like this in minutes. So that's how it accelerates.
No, it's so important, man. And networking is really at the forefront.
Yeah.
of making this dream happen. That's all I gotta say. Like the amount of people, right? Like and that's what I do. I become such a better communicator because of it, because I know how imperative it is to be successful. This podcast serves as a platform, as leverage to become a better networker, right? Like
Exactly.
that's why I love this podcast to death. Is it's a very simple concept, simple format, but it's very powerful, in its
Yeah,
reach. And you look at us, right? Like KG,
exactly.
you're a busy guy, man, right? Like I'm sure you have to study and whatever, but instead of just calling you, right, and just having a phone call for an hour at an inconvenience, it's like, let's have a podcast, let's create content out of it,
It's the
and let me
same thing.
post it so people can see your story as well.
Yeah,
So trust
exactly.
me, yeah, like you got to bring value to people. That's another thing with networking I learned is it's not just what can you do for me, it's what can I do for you as well.
Exactly. And I really
Um,
appreciate this podcast, man, because I've seen your other podcasts as well, and
yeah.
that's how I know people, like what they are doing, what they think about this field or any other field, right?
Oh, so you've been listening to it actively? Nice, man.
Yeah,
Thank you. It's always good to hear from you because I never
yeah.
know, right? Like you
No,
just send it out there. You don't really hear anyone, but it's good to know that people like yourself are listening. I'm really proud of that.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? Is for creatives. So that you're saying it helps you, like you
yeah,
benefit from
and
it.
yeah,
That's
now I
awesome.
know people. Like if I want to get like a contact of this people, I know, okay,
There you
this
go.
guy is there and
Yeah.
he worked over there. I can contact him. I can talk to him. So
Perfect.
that's how
Perfect.
it helps.
Well, you heard it here first, guys, on the Corner Talks podcast. It's
Yes,
working. My
sir.
theory is working. But no, seriously, man, that's honestly the whole mission of this podcast was to bring creatives like yourself, people on the come up, and just kind of identify their journeys, like share with them, with the audience, so they can have that relation, right? So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I want to know, like, what advice would you give though to aspiring filmmakers who are denied the opportunity or privilege to attend a film school? Do you think it's the end, or what
No,
would you
no,
tell them,
no, no,
buddy?
no, 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 no. It's not the end.
Because
It's
that happened to me
yeah,
when I
yeah,
was
yeah.
your age. I couldn't get into film school.
Yeah, like for me also getting it was a tough decision that like I made it. So like it's fine.
Yeah,
Film school or no film school, just I would say keep creating something. Like
got
just
it.
keep working. Like that's how you start, but that's how you learn.
Yeah,
Talk to people about it. Connect with people. Like connection in this field is the most important thing.
it's so vital. Yeah, so
Like
vital.
no film school, nothing can help. Just connections would be enough.
I understand.
If you know how to get in, if you find the right people at the right time and hit them at the right time
Right?
and you get in, you can learn a lot. Like, so just keep working towards it and make connections as much as you can in the
Well
field.
said. Well said for sure. And that's something that we captured, right? Like so far in the podcast is you have two different worlds, people. You have me that represents the guy that didn't go to film school, right? The guy that did it from YouTube tutorials, and you have
Exactly.
KG that he also did from YouTube tutorials, but he went to film school, right? So it's like we're both in the same position right now.
Yes,
We met each
exactly.
other, we crossed paths. It's not like he can't talk to me because I didn't go to film school. It's not
No,
like I'm a doctor.
we work together, right? So
Exactly. We work together. I'm saying it's not
yeah,
like the doctor field, the medical field, right? Where it's like you
yeah.
have to go to university
No,
to be
no, no.
considered credible,
Exactly. Not at all.
So that's amazing, man. So as creative individuals like ourselves who continue to progress in their careers, we tend to ruminate and anticipate for the next project. Like I get that a lot. I've done that recently.
Yeah.
Because 2023, I have things lined up, but it's nothing like, I don't know, like it's kind of like exciting, but also terrifying where you can't really sink your teeth into anything yet because you don't know what's to come. And I want to know, like, being guilty of this notion, whether it be mere excitement or persistent angst, we all want to know, like, what can satisfy our creative minds. That's something that I always feel, like the creative itch, I often say. So I want to know from you, KG, like, what projects do you desire to develop in your filmmaking career?
That's a good question. So one more thing about film school I would like to
Yeah,
add
for sure.
right now.
Oh, of course.
It exposes you to every aspect of filmmaking, right?
That's true.
Which helps, I would say.
Yeah.
Now I've tried sound department, I've tried editing, I've tried camera department, I've tried directing, I've tried scripts, everything.
Right.
Now I know my strength and my weakness. Where am I good? Right.
Right.
So that also helps. Like if I talk about last semester, like second semester, we did 4 projects: commercial,
Okay.
music video, PSA, and one more. What was that? Testimonial. All right.
Oh, testimonials. Yeah. Very
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
4 things. four things, we got exposed to everything, and we had to like direct it, shoot it, and stuff like that. So it exposes us to every aspect, and then you decide, okay, I've tried everything. Now I know what I want to choose. Right.
Really? Wow.
Exactly. Before joining film school, I was not into camera department much. Right. But after going through cinematography, like we had 3 cinematography classes. So after going that, I'm like more inclined towards being a DOP, like
Got it.
around camera, using
Right.
camera. I want to work in the camera department now. Right. So that's how I got to know about it. That's how I got to know where my interest lies. Right.
I
So
understand.
yeah, talking about the projects I would like to work on I want to work is like recently we worked on documentaries.
Okay.
I really like that. I really like that style. Right.
Documentary style filmmaking. That's something that
Exactly.
you're pursuing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's really like recently, like in last time, like the biggest project was documentaries. So
Got it.
when we observed everyone making their documentaries, I made mine. I was a part, like we went for a friend's documentary, a group of friends documentary out there. So that whole process was really good, and I really like that style of filmmaking.
Got it.
Documentary would be one. Plus, as I mentioned, I want to be TOP. Like I want to pursue the camera department. So for that, I would like to just shoot. I just want to shoot.
So at this point in your career, you're saying you want to create and tell stories, but there's no story particular that you desire to tell. It's kind of like at this point, you just want to create and
Exactly.
discover
Like,
your artistry.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like right now I'm at that stage, like where I'm just building my portfolio.
Right.
Right. So like I want to get, I don't want to, I have to just get on the field, get on the sets and just shoot. Just
That's true.
do something.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Figure,
when,
discover it by doing, right? Hello? Yeah. All right, we're back.
sorry.
Just continue at that point. Sorry, you were making.
Yeah. So I was just saying, like when you are out there, like I still have to be at that stage where I just pick one thing and I go for it.
Right.
It's too early for me now. Right now I'm just figuring out things. I'm building my portfolio, making connections, right? So right now I'm at that stage I want to shoot everything.
Got it.
Yeah,
I really admire that, man. And that's
if I like that.
That's the attitude you should have, man, right? It's
Yeah.
like that's how you discover. Like I remember shout out to Yusuf. On set, he was telling me like the more you do these projects, like especially short films, the more you realize like what position on set you enjoy the most or you excel in. And I realized on Demon, man, like I'm not kidding you, like cemented, especially dealing with Sam, talented kid, that I'm a director. Like I have a vision, I oversee it, I know how to execute it, I know how to communicate with the team. But in terms of like the minute details, like all the intricacies of what happens on a set, first of all, that's something that I'm not fond of. And second of all, I'm not talented enough. I don't have the expertise to do that. I can delegate, my vision. I can, orchestrate. But people like Sam and yourself, Yusuf, they know how to manipulate those aspects, right? To manage them. So that's why when I get hired with projects, like people will still reach out because they like the commercial projects that I do, or my passion projects. I still film them myself. They like my eye, right? But I tell them, I say, I'm not a director of photography, man. Like that's just me, it's very crude, like shoot and point and shoot kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you want like an actual professional, like not that I'm denouncing, my talent, but I'm just saying like I'm speaking more for short films. If you want, or filmmaking, if you want a cinematographer and you want to be a director, like you need to know how to separate the two. You can't marry the two.
Exactly.
So that was a hard lesson. That was a hard lesson. But you learn. But that's back to your point, right? Back to your point is that you only know that by doing. I only got to that because I did. Yeah, I did like multiple short films, narrative, scripted, abstract. So really commend you on that for sure, buddy. And I want to know like, so how will you overcome the adversities either encountered on set or within the industry that may have an influence on your project, like these creations that you anticipate doing?
So at that moment when you are on a set and something happens, like I try to stay focused on what is important right now.
Right.
Because when you're on set, time is like this. time is money. Like
Oh my God.
have to be
You experience. Do you
so
remember on Demon how fast that first day went?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like we were like the first day we were like so much in a hurry. Like we have to do this,
Well,
do
because
that.
there's so much, yeah, so much time was
Exactly.
killed just to prepare. I know it's crazy.
Exactly. And it's not just you, like you have tons of thing on set, like the location, you have timing, you have a specific timing on location.
Of
If you
course.
have, equipments, you have rented equipments, you have specific timing for that as well, right?
Right.
And you have to not, you have to keep in mind the timing not only for you, but the whole cast and crew,
Yeah. Yeah.
who lives where, who has to be early and stuff like that. So time is money on set. So whenever something happens on set, whenever I'm stuck with something, I'm like my main aim is to figure out the best way out possible, the quickest, and just focus on the thing that's important right now, and
Yeah.
then do the things later on. No, so that
Be
everything is
present in the moment, you're saying.
exactly, so that
Yeah.
everything is smooth on set and nothing is like the work is not hindered with it. I would
I
say.
understand. No, that's a very mature statement to say, right? Like it's that's something I'm very guilty of not focusing on the present sometimes. Like on Demon set, like I was very composed and I was getting praise for that. But deep down inside, I was like, time is money, as they say. Like I know we only have 2 days at this location, and there's
Yeah.
it's very hard in the indie world to do reshoots because everyone's all over the
Exactly.
place. So I said, these 2 days are so critical, and we made it work. We hustled again. Commend the team. Sam, my right hand, like he was really supportive. Abil, but yeah, man, I was really worried about that. So like I'm saying, I have to take your advice to focus in the moment, and that's kind of like what I learned very quickly on set. Because that was like my biggest crew so far. I should mention, like that Demon was probably like my biggest project that I dealt with. The amount of like hands we had on the project.
Yeah.
But you kind of learn quickly, like that's what a director is, right? Like a leader, and you have to have that composure, and you have to have that vision, that direction. But it all starts with focusing on what's the task at hand. Don't worry
Yes,
about
exactly.
don't worry about day 2, and then
Yeah,
the bigger projects. Don't worry about day
exactly.
37.
Exactly.
What's day 1? You know what I mean?
What is now? Like just
Exactly,
focus on
exactly.
what is happening now, and don't worry about that. We'll deal with that at that time when it needs to be done, not
So
now.
that's how you're gonna battle. That's awesome,
Yeah,
and that's how you're gonna battle the adversities, right? Is just keep
exactly.
dealing with the moment. The power of now. That book I
Exactly
read.
the power of
Yeah,
now.
yeah. 100%. Perfect, buddy. And before we leave, I always like to know from creatives and filmmakers something that kind of gets them out of bed in the morning and continue this path that sometimes proves to be very challenging and gives us a lot of hardship. What motivates you most knowing you are a filmmaker, KG?
Okay. The thing that motivates me is like I have the power to create something
Mhm.
and show people that thing, right?
Right.
Like, for example, we go to movies, right? For the past few movies, like some really good movies have been coming out, right? Like a Fableman, Avatar, and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
We went there, we watched the movie, and after that, we are like, wow, like we are just thinking about that, right? Thinking about that movie.
Yeah.
It took us into another dimension. And the feeling of that when you know someone else is feeling like that for the thing you created,
Yeah.
man, so good. So I mean, I want that any day. I was like, I'll go, I'll do this, I'll shoot this, I'll upload it, I'll post this on the net. People will see, people will tell me what they think, and that's how it works. Like I'm like, okay, what if people like this? I'll show this. So I have the power to show them what I want or show them what they want to see. Right.
Yeah.
So that's
But
what
you want like what I'm getting at is you want them to be kind of like what I strive for is captivated, right? When they finish watching the movie, it's like they go home like, what was that? Because
think
that's what
about
I
that.
did with Avatar
Yeah,
recently, right? Like
exactly. I'm still
I
not
was
out of it.
impressed. Yeah, like I was, and I haven't watched Fablemans yet, but I can only imagine how beautifully
Oh, it was
put together,
so
masterfully, right, by Spielberg. Yeah, like that's exactly to it, man. That's why we're in this business. We're all looking to tell a perfect story, even though it doesn't exist. But
exactly.
that's why so many of us exist, and generations will pass and come. What excites me more, right? And I don't know if you had this, is Spielberg, Tarantino, my hero, Cameron. Yeah, great filmmakers, but they're also at that age, right? Eventually, they're going to go. Who's going to be the ones to replace them, or who's going to be the ones to take over their visions for themselves? Like for cinema, I mean, take cinema to a new direction in the next century. So that's what kind of like motivates me is we're at that time, man. We're at that time in our lives where we're the next ones, right? It's like we could be that next generation that could take it to a new level. So yeah, that's really cool, man. I'm really happy you have such a noble cause why you're doing cinema. It's not for the vanity or the attention or anything like that. It's simply because you love telling stories, man, and you love being creative. Yeah, and you want to captivate the people that watch them. Yeah. For sure, man. Well, KG, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast, sharing your journey, your experiences, and your intentions of being a filmmaker. Yes,
Thank
of course.
you for doing this. Thank you so much.
Of course, buddy. Of course. Anytime, man. And I look forward to your feedback on Demon as I do the audience.
Yes,
so that's coming out in the springtime, the new year. So expect that in 2023. But yes, thank you so much, KG, for coming on the podcast. Thank you everybody for listening, and we'll talk soon.